Hey everybody, this is Mark with Soul Shelter Music. I wanted to show you a couple of things real quickly here in Reaper. One of the things that I'm doing here with my new EP project is I'm working with friends of mine who are helping me track parts to my songs. And so I have a friend who's a drummer, another friend who's a guitar player, another friend who's a bass player, and a keyboard player. And so, depending on their preferences, some of them may prefer to receive my tracks with my MIDI drum line that's going on, but my drummer likes to receive it with click track. And I want to show you how to insert a click track. Let's just put it as the last track in the project. If you'll go to Insert, New Track, or Control T on Windows, that will start a new track. And let's call this click track. Okay, and what you do to insert your click is to do insert click source, and you'll see that basically Reaper's really nice here. It's inserted a click for the entire length of the session, which is really convenient. And so now, because I have my drum folder here, which I showed you in the previous video, I can mute my drum folder, which mutes all of my drums, and listen to what happens here as I play the song. Okay, so no drums, but a click track. Now, one of the things that you can do in Reaper is the default Reaper click is not quite loud enough for me, so I can right mouse click on the click track and I can go to Item Properties. Okay, and here in the Item Properties screen, I can actually change the media source, as it calls it. So if I click on properties here, now I can go and I can actually select what first beat and secondary beats that the click uses. And so what I've done is I've gone out to the internet and I've searched around, and we'll go do that. Let's go to Documents, and let's go to, where is it here? Bear with me just a second. I think I just missed it. Here we go. Click track sound samples. If I come in here, I've downloaded several different sound samples. In fact, this is the Pro Tools default click number 1 and the Pro Tools default click number 2. So if I select that for my click 1, come back here, and default 2. Okay, now what Reaper is going to do, and hit apply, Reaper is going to apply those click sound samples as my click track now. So now let's listen to it. Hear that? Pretty cool. And I believe that that is the click source and click sound that I send to my drummer. Pretty sure about that. The other thing I wanted to show you is something that really helps me when I'm multi-tracking and also working with other musicians is called track markers. And what you can do in your project is you can insert a track marker. So for example, right here, if you'll right mouse click right here at the beginning, you can insert a marker, or you could hit Shift M. Okay, and so this is the intro to my song. I want to set the color to red. I always set my markers to red, and hit OK. And you'll notice right here is it inserts a marker. So let's say that my first verse is right here. I want to insert a marker. Let's call this verse 1. Set the color, say OK, say OK. Alright, so let's say my chorus happens right here. I can insert a marker and say chorus, set the color of it to red, say OK, say OK, ID number 3, and there we go. On down the line. And so you can lay out your song, and that way whenever you receive the parts and the tracks from your various musicians and you pull them into your project, you can see how they're lining up with the flow of your song. And so I use track markers quite a bit. Used to use them when I would track my own parts, and I particularly had a problem with tracking bass lines. I just, for whatever reason, I never could track a bass line all the way through, and so I would work on it over several different days. And so let's say that I came in and I wanted to track my bass line on the intro. Well, I could highlight this section and loop this thing by clicking the loop button here, and I could loop this and listen to it and grab my bass and start to play around with some ideas before laying down my bass line. So it's kind of a little organizational deal, but I do find that it can really help speed up your workflow if you're working on your projects in parts, working with other musicians to track lines that you pull into your project. So hope these little tips help. That's how you get a click track. And this is how you can lay out your songs using markers in Reaper. Take care. God bless.